Stand by.
You all right?
Stand by. You all right there, bro?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong. I mean, Sean's the one in the hoodie when it's 80 degrees
Mucinex.
outside. What do you
It's
got?
actually 45 here today, so please
45.
And windy. And windy.
We'll call it breezy at that.
He's
I'm
right.
more concerned right now about Scott.
I know, bro.
His
What do you got
chest
going there?
congestion.
Yeah, it's like this infirmity.
It's this sickness that won't go away. You know, I mean, I swear to God, like it's 15 degrees here. It's -8 degrees. You know, you walk outside to get the mail. I'm hacking. I can't stop coughing. You know, I
Chrissy's chasing with the life insurance
like,
policy to make sure it's
I'm
signed.
gonna need to sleep in the other room. I can't handle this coughing. Like she told me that my coughing actually gives her like trauma from when I had COVID so bad that like she hears me coughing and she goes into this
really
like weird place.
You
And
think
I'm like,
that could
okay,
get
I'm
you
sorry.
trauma?
Yeah,
Stand
I mean,
by.
I'm not back on oxygen yet, but you know, so and me, I have a certain way of medicating myself. Like there's the doctor, you know, prescribed, and then I kind of have mine's kind of fluid, you know. So like with cough medicine and different assorted medicines,
Yeah, you're buying them from the Dollar Tree, bro. You get that in a postcard. Oh, let's see if this works. You don't know what you're getting.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of the Dollar Tree cough syrup. I don't know if it's that Chinese blend. Some, you know, it's like a certain vintage.
Right.
And
he's like Bill Murray in Stripes. I shouldn't have had all that cough syrup.
And as soon as I open the package, the little dosing cup goes right in the garbage with like, no.
You can't read Chinese letters anyway.
My body knows what kind of dosage I need of this cough medicine. And just because
fine-tuned machine right here.
And if we're driving somewhere and I pull that little bottle of cough medicine out of the center console and take a rip off of it, that's when my body's telling me that I need it.
Right. It's like poor man's lean that he's making. You know, he's just doing that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is, the Dollar Tree store, they actually sell you one of those jeweled goblets with it too. So
right. Like who drinks their cough medicine out of a pimp cup mixed with Sprite?
You're out in that camper that you got in your front yard, making it like you're the guy from Breaking Bad, but it's just like poor man's lean for all the high school kids in the neighborhood. You're just like,
right,
why?
And I'm like, I got to rewatch Landman the next day because I was blacked out on cough medicine the whole time we were watching it on Sunday. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to watch that. I'm gonna have to.
Were there any naked girls unnecessarily?
Right. And then you add into it.
Episode too.
I go to the urgent care and get the albuterol.
Ooh.
Inhaler, and I swear I need like a holster for this thing on my waist. Like I can just pull it and hit this pipe, you know. And I'm like,
no, you wear like a necklace, like the smokers wear their lighters. Like the lighters.
Let me get a hit. Where's my pipe?
Take a pull on this. Take a pull on it. Come on. You hit this with me. Hear that thing? Oh my God. Oh, just hold it. Don't let it go yet.
That's the stuff.
When you exhale, you blow it out the side of your mouth, so you're not blowing it into people's faces.
I actually blow it out my nose like the old school smokers, like
the dragon.
And so I needed a refill the other day, which most people wouldn't need a refill for probably a month, like 4 days. So I tell Chris, I'm like, hey, can you stop?
That's nothing for me.
I'm like, it's different with the temperature change and stuff. It's all about like different. It's like winter gasoline. It's the same concept. Like different temps. I need different potencies. And so she says, hey, I picked you up a new inhaler. You better look at it because the pharmacist said that there's like different instructions. I go, different instructions? Like it's an inhaler. You hit it, pull it, take it, what do you mean? So I read it and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything new. And it's she's like, well, what does it say for dosage? I said, 2 every 6 hours. And she's like, yeah. And you do like way more than that. I go, well, I'm more of a 6 hits every 2 hours.
I do mine in dog years.
Right.
But that's what I need. That's what keeps this running, you know?
Right. Well, what our listeners don't know is that Scott was telling Chris and I before we get on the show that when he does a lot of driving in his current job, and when he was driving back, he was passing over the Cal-Sag Channel. He watched a car go into the river, and he did a hit on that thing, dove in, just took his shoes off, dove in, was down there for like 20 minutes feeling around, and got the guy out of the car. And he's going to get an award for this. It's kind of cool.
It's like some kind of James Bond thing.
The Calumet Park Police Department's going to call you a citizen.
It's like it's an albuterol snorkel scuba tank.
Right. So get me through this. Right.
Why does that thing sound so funny?
Right.
It's okay.
If your vehicle capsizes, you can use this for that too, sir. Well, thanks, Doc.
If it comes out and builds you a dormer, you'll know why.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Well, I'm glad you're actually. It was really great to open this episode with that, because he got a new microphone too.
Yeah,
new mic, new headphone. Look at you, man!
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Getting into the
Sure.
How do you say this? RODE.
But it's a road. Nice.
Yeah,
right. Road.
You should just attach a butyrol right to the mic and just like hit it like while you're talking. Just real quick. Just like
next time I'll just have it like it'll just be strapped
the mic
right here.
Right.
Oh my God, that's a new microphone. No.
And I actually, what's weird is I actually taught one of the dogs to walk up and they smack the thing on top, and I just get
one of those dogs that does CPR from like Sweden or something like that.
They hit the no button.
You have a service dog that helps you take pulls off your inhaler? Yep.
Yeah, you should see what he does with the lean that I make. Anyway, he's got it under his neck like a big barrel for you, like a Saint Bernard.
Yeah, he's like the Saint Bernard. Like he's got a bottle of Chinese cough syrup under his neck.
Yeah, right. And he digs you out like when you're underneath all the covers because you're just so anyway, all right. This has gone on too far.
Right, he knows when I'm hallucinating, and he's like, I gotta get him out of this dream. He's walking with Jim Morrison through the desert. Like, get him out of this shit.
Like the coyote.
Why is your dog pulling you back?
Anyway, wow. Well, like I said,
there we go.
I'm a figure of health.
You are.
What can I say? I don't. This disclaimer: don't follow some of my medical recommendations.
You're not tuning into this show for medical advice.
No, I'm certainly no doctor. I'm the poor man. I'm the Timu Dr. Oz.
Yeah, for sure. Well, today we want to talk about some things. Obviously, there's some things going on in Minneapolis that are unfolding right now for this week. So, it's not like we're ignoring them. There's going to be things going on in Minneapolis for quite some time now. Some good things and some bad things, particularly the latest shooting that was involved. We're going to, wait till a little more facts come out before we start commenting on things as to what are going on. Obviously, it's a concern on a lot of levels for safety for officers as well as the people that are up there protesting. Again,
right, and I think there's a lot of things. That, I mean, like we always preach, let's wait till everything comes in, and I think that's the best way, because I mean, you've got people saying, the gun went off, he had the gun, he didn't have the gun, and I just think everybody's just trying to lean everybody to their side. But I just think all in all, and I'm not going to go on a rant as much as I really, really want to. I think the problem with this, that it didn't even have to get this far. And again, whatever side of the aisle you're on, okay, there's rules for a reason. There's laws, and we are enforcing the laws. And by inserting yourself into this, and this is from politicians, from inserting themselves, and I'm not saying by being there, but by promoting people to go out there and do this against ICE, when they should be protesting the politicians, by inserting themselves and then inserting other people and put them in harm's way to do their bidding. I just think it's horribly bad, and I think people should just kind of stay home, let ICE do their thing, because they're enforcing laws. And if you really don't like it, I really suggest that you go protest on Capitol Hill or to your politicians, because what they're doing out there is just it's not going to go anywhere. And the bottom line is the ICE guys and girls are they're enforcing the laws that the politicians institute. And I don't want to go on a big rant about this whole thing, but I just want to wait for the facts to come out. But I'm just going to say, in my opinion, that this guy's death, tragic. This is on Tim Walz and the mayor, because they need to have the police enforce the laws along with ICE, and this would have never ever happened. And you want to go to Capitol Hill and you want to fight the laws that are already on the books, then you do so, but do not put your citizens in harm's way. And that's exactly what they did. So that's all I got.
All right. Well, one of the things that's been kind of tried out, at least it's trying itself out, is a topic that we've done a couple shows on in our podcast's history, that has to do with Uvalde. Uvalde amongst most police officers is the thing that we all take a step back again, yet again, like we saw in Marjorie Stroman down there in Florida, where people did not act when we felt they should have, and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
a recent case was adjudicated for the first officer on scene, Adam Gonzalez of the Uvalde School District Police, and he was acquitted of all counts charged with for not acting that day, and led to the death of 19 students and 2
Yeah.
teachers.
29 counts.
29 counts total of child endangerment. And again, we're not speaking for everybody in law enforcement. We're just speaking from our own experiences and things like that here. But he decided post, adjudication to conduct a kind of a pseudo press conference, an interview with the media down there with his attorney to kind of, I don't know exactly what he was doing based upon the articles that I read about it. I'm going to tell you just from the get go, I'm not going to pull any punches, but I think he's kind of remaining a coward throughout in this. And he's just trying to, fix his name somehow.
Mm-hmm.
If I had gotten away, and these are my words, I know the criminal justice system, was served here and he was acquitted of all of them. But if I had gotten away from that as the mantra that I follow as a police officer, I would want to go away and disappear and not be a part of the public eye for the rest of my existence, because I didn't do what I needed to do in the moment of that. And we'll get into a little of that today and some of that. Again, you may have a different view on this. If you're a listener, you think, well, whatever, we should have never charged them. That wasn't right. We're going to get a charge of police officers for these things. Look, man, if we want all these accolades, we want people to start respecting us and perpetually respecting us. When it's time for us to step up, it doesn't matter. It's clearly defined with active shooter response that you don't have to wait for orders to do that. You can actually, in certain circumstances, circumvent some of the orders to go in there. And that was some of the things that, the shooting in Marjorie Stroman, where we had several episodes on that. The chief from Coral Springs, Chris, was it Coral Springs? Yeah. Came and talked to us about that as well, and how that gave us kind of a black eye. Well, we're waiting around while this is going on. And, former Officer Gonzalez, took some steps to kind of, let me tell you this and let me tell you that. We're going to get into some of those things. We're going to talk about it a little bit from our own experience, and then kind of move on to, how I think we can move beyond this and maybe give some peace to the people that will never get anything back, which is kids.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to get any peace. I mean, and how do they look at law enforcement, and how they send their kids to school anymore? I mean, I listen, I've said this before, and I'm not going to go down a big path, but I know going to a school every day that my job is to either have a street named after me or I'm going to be a hero. That's it. But then as I'm reading this article, well, the chief said to stand down. Well, okay. If anybody told me to stand down as an active shooter, I'm not. Unless they're like, okay, got 2 seconds, we're going to form a team or something. But I'm not. Well, this is going on and all this other stuff. I can't believe that he actually did this conference and tried to justify what he did. And the way I read it, and you guys, give me your opinion. The way I read it, he's blaming it all on, well, the chief said not to, and he's not really taking any accountability. He's not saying that, I feel horrible, I should have, I might have, I could have, nothing. He's going under this direction that I got an order from the chief and I listened to all orders.
And to your point, that's not how you train these things. This isn't trained this way anymore. I mean, it hasn't been trained this way for years. That was the Columbine model of, hey, get everybody there, circle the wagons, come up with a plan, and then figure out how we're going to execute it. And that changed. And that changed to, you get your ass in there and take care of what you do. Now, yes, look at like the Nashville school, those officers. You might have to take a pause there initially because you've got, maybe there's a couple people all getting on scene at the same time. And maybe you take a pause to say, okay, who do I got here? Okay, I got you. Here's the game plan. Here's where we're going. And a quick brief up, and then let's get in there. But to just say that, well, I stood outside because my chief told me to stand outside. Well, then your chief's just as culpable in this too, because that's bullshit. That's a bullshit approach, and it's not realistic. And I'd mentioned this before we got started, that many years ago, like when Sean was running a lot of the training for us, we were doing these trainings. Now, we were fortunate enough that we worked somewhere where we could use high schools and simunition rounds, in the off season, out of school season, to to train this stuff, and we started doing that, it became a more regular thing that we even did it with the fire departments. That, this guy, he makes the quote in there that he says, and I want to, because how it relates is, he says, you can sit here and tell me all you want about what I would have done or what you would have done. Until you're in that mix, you can't tell me anything. And he says, I don't regret it because I took an order from my chief at the time. Okay, well, I'm calling bullshit on that too, because we've all been in a variety of different dangerous situations. Yeah, this is a pretty hellacious situation, but when we did that training, granted, yes, it's not real, but you're using live role players, live students, other cops, real firemen, people who are like assessing the training. You're using simunition rounds that fucking hurt when you get hit with them in the wrong place, if you're not wearing a mask or some shit. And it's about as close as you can. And not only does it just for like the tactics part of it, but thinking about how you are reacting. And that's like all kinds of different things that you do. It's your breathing, it's your tunnel vision, it's all of those things, And yeah, he can sit here and tell me, well, you haven't been in this exact same situation. Okay, you're right, I haven't. I've never been to a school where kids are being shot. But my counter to that would be, I also had, I have had that internal conversation and that internal drive to say, okay, this may be it. You know what I mean? Like, this might be it. And I could not, there would be nothing, I'm sorry, chief order or nothing, that hears me with kids inside of a building screaming, being shot and murdered, that would not keep me from fucking going in there and trying to make that stop. So to me, his argument, again, it's bullshit. And what are you doing here? You having this bullshit little press conference or whatever it is you want to call it? Is this try to make yourself feel better?
Yeah, absolutely.
You try to make yourself feel better. What the fuck do you think that this does for those families? They just further confirm that you're a chicken shit, that you didn't go in there and do anything that you should have done. And
you're a coward because you wouldn't. Yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
You can talk all you want about, you haven't been there till I've been there. Well, guess what? These folks have been there with their kids screaming, being murdered. So I think we're all in a bad way here, and you chose not to do anything. And I'm sorry, I don't buy it. And I don't know what the point of him was doing this. He should
have taken his win, kept his mouth shut, and went and maybe collected his pension and went to some other place in Texas and just stayed there and kept his mouth shut, because
nobody wants to hear from you.
Nobody wants to hear from you, because I don't care what your excuse is, kids died on your watch because of you.
And I'd venture to say a lot of people in law enforcement didn't want to hear that from him, because the thing that bothered me the most about what he said is he says, like, you do anything in the tactical world, you always do an after-action review of what's going on. And you always have a minor regret or a major regret from training or an incident that had happened. And we're never going to get any better if we're always like, well, he absolutely said, I have no regrets regarding my actions during the 2022 mass shooting of children. Like, you have no regrets? Like, we weren't better prepared as an agency. We didn't get there fast enough. There was something that I zigged when I should have zagged when I was getting there. If I got there sooner, maybe the door wouldn't have been locked. There's no regrets whatsoever. Like, and again, your attorney sitting there letting you do that. The only reason I think this maybe was done was because the attorneys may be looking to get a practice that says, hey, we'll defend cowardly police officers and protect you when the people that you're sworn to protect lose their most precious commodity, and they want some justice out of this. And people might say, well, that's not really justice. It was just people with a bloodlust. But the bottom line is I don't care what anybody says. I agree with the fact that him and his chief were charged, because the rest of the world, what happens with us is that the officer will get charged for something like that, and the chief coming there and saying, stand it down. Now, the chief is also going to face a trial, but it can't go to a criminal trial yet because he's still under litigation from a civil trial. And he says, I'm going to back my chief. And he was saying things along like, we won this one, and we're going to go ahead and win the next one. Like, this isn't like you're going to the fucking Super Bowl, buddy. Nobody won here. Nobody at all won here. The shooter, the person that fucking caused it, the fact that officers didn't go in and, like, 90 something guys, I think was the count, that showed up there. And finally a team was like, fuck it, we're going in. We're not listening to this chief that doesn't know what he's doing. The people that are like, literally, Chris, you know what I'm talking about here. Like, a lot of agencies throughout the states were formed on the heels of all of these active shooter things, where they're police officers that work for schools And that's what this Uvalde school district police department was. And they couldn't even do that basic mission. You should be training that as a school resource officer, like nonstop. Like there's some agencies that actually have special response teams that are just clearly, that's their job, is to respond to schools. They serve in an SRO role type role, but they know the layout of schools. They know how to get in, they know how to breach, they know how to do all these things to stop something from that, like that happening. Like we all saw the videos. We all saw what's going on. Again, one little video doesn't determine the fate there, but a guy was more concerned about, in the height of the COVID shit going on, getting his hand clean with hand sanitizer while they're in there trying to negotiate with the guy. Look, you are not on the right side of history, buddy. Shut the fuck up, go away, and stop making all of us, cops, anybody that says, oh, you don't know because you were never in that circumstance. I'm sorry, fella. There's a lot of us out here that have been in that circumstance. And there's a lot of video showing that a lot of other officers would have done a lot of different things and did to neutralize these situations. That is, like, to me, it's so aggravating to see that an attorney allowed this to happen. Like, hey man, we're just lucky. Let's just consider ourselves lucky here. There's no need to clear your name, because guess what? You're never going to clear your name, buddy.
No.
You're never going to clear anything you say to the parents of those 19 kids and the spouses or family members of those 2 teachers that were murdered at point blank range by this guy who was inevitably, justifiably killed by police officers, is not going to make you right. Justice may be right here. Justice may be served. But the bottom line is that, like you said, Scott, lawful but awful. And that's exactly what this is. And it's sickening to think, like, you are saying things that make it like, man, we won and we're going to win the next one too. And they picked me because I was the first one that got there. Yeah, motherfucker. That's how it works. First one in the breach. Like, guess what? Like, I was on a SWAT team for 17 years. The guy that won a point was the guy who was like, yeah, I want to be on point. I want to be on point. Yeah, but guess what that guy on point was also going to be? He was going to be the canary that let us know, well, I guess that's where the guy's at, because he just fucking shot that guy. And, and there are a lot of cops out there that think that way. I'm not trying to say we're all operator as fuck and everything else, but the bottom line is that this is not commensurate with the way that most cops think about these situations. It was pathetic. And, like, stop making yourself like, oh, I was an excuse for everybody. No, you weren't. Training says you get there. You don't need to form a team. You don't need to listen to orders. If you know something that's way more than what your chief knows, you keep going. It's the one time where you can literally look at your chief and go, I'm going. Too bad. Stop me. I mean, even if you get fired, even if you get charged for, doing something, the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you did what our mantra is about in those situations. And this guy didn't do it. It's so, obviously I'm aggravated with it, because I have personal experience in it. And again, you see, like, people along the way are telling you not to do what you got to do. People in uniform, people that don't know anything about what's going on, people that are stuck in the building are going, are you sure you want to go that way? Well, who the fuck else is going to go? Like, of course I'm nervous and I'm scared, but I got to do what I got to do, because at the end of the day, as they say, there are some things worse than being dead.
Yeah,
it's living
and that's exactly. And he's got to live with this. And he should have just shut up and moved on, because I don't care what he does or what he says. He is not. He was a coward. He didn't do what he should have done. And just like Scott said, I think this is one of the only professions that we learn by people getting hurt or killed. And you see this from Columbine. They waited because that was protocol SWAT. And now you hear shots, you go. And you have to learn. You bypass wounded. You pass up everything to go to where this is all happening. And but I'm glad his hands are clean. That's the only. I mean, I'm glad their hands are clean with their sanitizer. That's
fault,
good.
And he just followed orders and shit like that. And he was blaming it on the fact that individually blaming him distracts from the broader failures of this. To Scott's point earlier, we've been training it this way. You go, point man, you're gone. You're not waiting for teams. You're just going and getting in there. We've been equipped properly, because all the guys in that video that I saw were equipped properly. They had long guns. They had the plates. They had the things that you're working for a school. This isn't like, you as an individual need to start stepping up and going, hey, if this is what they're asking us to do, why do none of us have the equipment that we need to do it? Right. When I worked for a school, it was pretty pathetic. Don't get me wrong. It was terrible. But the bottom line is, and they were woefully underprepared to deal with the situation. But the bottom line is that at least I stood up and started asking questions. And I would rather have gotten in trouble like I did for that than going, well, it's somebody else's fault. It ain't mine. Too bad. And if you look, Mr. Mr. Gonzalez, if you're listening to this or somebody knows him listening to that, we'd love to have you come on the show and talk to us. I'm sure you probably won't be game for it, but the bottom line is that I would sit there and say to you, well, then at what point as a teacher that worked in a school on both sides, because he was a teacher prior to this, at what time does the school resource officer go, hey, you know what? I can't stand for this. I got to leave. If this is the way we're being poorly trained and this is what I know would happen, I'm going to leave. I can't put up with this. I'm not going to be. That's how you get blood off your hands. You don't put up with it. And you go to the media and you tell people this place is woefully underprepared for this.
And that's one of the things too that you touched on this, that they were specifically designed for this. This is what they were designed for. You know what I mean? And you there should be no question about tactics. There should be no question that people are expecting you to be that point team, that you should know. And I forgot about the part about him being a teacher and whatever else. You should know the school, just like I'm sure Chris knows his schools forwards and backwards, and the SROs know these schools forwards and backwards. And you train that for the people who don't know the schools forward and backwards, or you're going to be expected, like this guy, if there are 2 or 3 or 4 people stacking up to go in, he's going to be like, hey, I know where I'm going in there. Let's go. You know what I mean? There's probably a very good chance that little extra bit of insight to know the layout of those schools might even help you be more successful with this and get out of it alive, because you're hearing shit and going, well, hey, that sounds like that's like the library where that's coming from, or that's the cafeteria where that's coming from. You know what I mean? And granted, it's easy to sit here and say that now, but than in the moment. But at the same time, if you're trained and you've practiced this and you're aware of it and you know the thing that you're going into, then you should already have that in the back of your head. And to think that you can sit there and say, again, that I didn't get ordered to do this or ordered to do that, and then make this comment. Another quote from him in this story says, whatever, this is him referring to the victims, whatever I say to them, I know it's not going to ease their pain. They're always in my prayers. Yeah, no shit, they're not, whatever you say. So shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear you say anything. You are making it worse. You're tearing off these scabs that from these people who are trying to move on with their lives, that have lost children, family, friends, because you didn't do what you were supposed to. It's not like you went in there and, hey, as we made our way in, the guy offed himself, or, hey, there was one more kid, unfortunately, that got shot or something happened. Then you can at least live with yourself and say, well, I went in there and went in as hard as I could, as well as I trained, ready to carry out this mission, right? And again, it goes back to that thing about people don't like to think about the fact that I could probably get killed going in here and doing this. Like, there's a very good chance that I could also end up dead in here. And it's easy to say, oh, people, you guys just say that kind of stuff. Well, no, it's something that you think about doing this job. Like, if you don't have that realistic conversation with yourself of like, hey, I'm going to be a cop for 20, 25, 30, 35 years, there is a realistic chance that I may die at some point. Like, that is one of the things that you have to worry about with the job. And like Chris said about being remembered and whatever, this may be the thing. This may be your final call. Like, you went in there and
yeah,
you did what you had to do, and maybe you didn't survive, but shit, you went out doing what people expected you to do, and you trying to protect lives.
And I got news for you. I swear, I'd rather be dead than have to look my daughters and my wife in the eye by not doing this. I swear on everything holy. How could I look at them? How could I look at them as a man of honor? How could I? There's no way. There's no way.
Look, you're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to be afraid.
I'm afraid every day when something like
but you're not allowed to not act. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Now, you're not allowed to not act. I don't care. Stop trying to make yourself out to be. He's not trying to make himself out to be a hero, but trying to make you the victim of something. As I said, he was a teacher for 18 years prior to joining the Uvalde Police Department, and then he switched to the school district's police department. But what he said was like, he said the indictment and public scrutiny forced him to relocate with his family. That's terrible. But then the thing that really bugged me was he said, and it ended my ability to work with children, something he described as a lifelong passion. As a man, as a police officer, as a protective, your job to work with children was to protect them when somebody was in there slaughtering them, and do whatever you could to stop it from happening. And you didn't. I'm so sorry that you don't get to work with kids anymore. Some people don't get to hug their kids anymore. Right. Some people don't get to do any of that stuff. And again, what would have been best here is what I said from the get-go. Just be quiet and go away. Whatever it is you got out with, consider yourself blessed by the hand of God as what was going. Take this, learn from it, and be quiet. When you're, I can't believe him and his attorney both were like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. Let's go out there and do that. Mm-hmm. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
But not to change subject or anything, but like, look at what, like, this guy from, was it Fanone? The guy from the Capitol Police with his J6 thing? What's his name? Like, he's out there running amok too, running his mouth. Like, the coward played dead. He turned off his body camera, and all he's doing is he's yelling at people that they're conspiracy theorists. No, motherfucker. We saw you turn your body camera off. It's on camera. Like, listen. You're all tatted up.
Neck tattoos the back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're all tatted up.
Spiderweb on the elbow, and then then his neck, and then when he received them. Mike Fanone, his name is, as far as I know, he goes by Michael Fanone. He was a DC copper for a while. Then he switched over to the Capitol Police and was there during the time where J6 occurred. And he came out as a guy that was like, I had a heart attack that day, and I had a medical issue related to what was going on here. And he's been out glad handing about this experience since. He's like,
cowardice is not a medical condition.
Yeah, and when he gets confronted by members of, whether it be the mainstream media loves him because obviously the Democrats love him because he's kind of supporting the idea that
because he's a
Donald
douche.
Trump caused all of this. That's his thing. Of course, he's going to be embraced by the media because they're going to love a guy that says something like that. And he was on the ground dealing with all of these circumstances. And there's body cam video of the guy out there or whatever. But the best stuff is like how he's just like, he's so confrontational and profane with people about it when they approach him about, hey, what about this? What about that? What about some of the things that we're finding out about this right now? And he, it's just like everything about the guy to me is unsettling because it's just like, again, we talk about things on this show to let people know, like, we're humans and we make mistakes and we do things like that. But like, there's something within our profession when somebody's constantly out there glad handing, selling themselves, promoting themselves. Like he's getting, the Citizens Medal of Freedom or something from Joe Biden, who, by the way, probably didn't even know he was giving it to him.
Autopay.
But the bottom line, but he got it, and the guy's posing, accepting it, and he's got the funky haircut and the tattoos all over his neck coming out or whatever. And I think Biden was probably giving him that award because he probably thought it was Hunter's crack dealer that he was dealing with. But the bottom line is he's got a tattoo on his hand, the hand that he's actually receiving the award in, that says, "I'll take the money." That's a police officer that's got that tattoo on his head. Could you imagine you walk up to the guy like, "Hey, sir, can I see your driver's license, proof of insurance? I'll take the money."
Shit, at least I got that as a tramp stamp.
That's why you can't see Chris's.
You think to yourself, like, again, just because somebody's got a tattoo doesn't mean that they should be discredited.
No.
The bottom line is like the guy's a shameless self-promoter, again, of his cowardice. He didn't do what he should have done that day.
Yeah.
I mean, what could he have done? I don't know. But the bottom line is he shouldn't be doing, I think, what he's doing now, where he's making all of us look bad, and he's being propped up by people that normally just freaking hate the police.
Right.
Let's just be straight. The people that are loving on him in Capitol Hill are the people that are saying, get rid of the police, get rid of the money.
They're trying to rebrand themselves is what they're doing. They're trying to rebrand themselves, and they're trying to wash off the stink of the terrible mistakes that they made and stupidity and everything else, and think, well, if I can do this, I'm somewhat, I can redeem myself and I can walk around and show how battle tested I am.
But then you know what you should do? You should stand up, be a man, like this clown from Uvalde and this clown with that turned his body cam off and played dead like a coward. Then you should stand up and say, "Listen, I made a mistake. I didn't do it correctly. This is what I am going to do to make it better. I am sorry for what I did. I will make this better. I will make atonement for him." Not just be a coward and then blame everybody else and say, "Well, you're a conspiracy theorist." No, you turned your body camera off. Why did you do that? Why did you play dead? Come out, be a man. I would have more respect for you if you were to do that and try and make it better than to self-promote yourself like you were some kind of freaking hero, both you clowns, when you're not.
If he would have had an albuterol inhaler and some Dollar Tree cough medicine, he would have been back up and in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we got to stop doing these shows like this to get everybody all fired up. Chris, you're gonna have to, or Scott, you're gonna have to start shotgunning that thing through the microphones. So you're just like throwing it at us, like we have to get on that, bro. I'm fucking losing it.
But here's what I get. Like, listen,
I have an auto dosing mechanism that I'm working on.
It just comes out of the mic.
Right.
But I mean, like, listen. When I was a policeman, the last thing I wanted to do is embarrass myself in front of you, my colleagues, my friends, and my family. And when I would do something on the street, even though it was minor, stepped in front of the tube when I went to arrest somebody or whatever, you felt some humbling experience from that. Going, God, that was kind of stupid. Sorry, guys. Because you don't want to be embarrassed in front of your peers, especially policemen, because they're relentless. But if you do it, sorry guys, move on. You take it on the chops till somebody else does something different. I mean, but you don't blame everybody else for what you did. You stand up, you take it on the fucking chin, and you move forward.
Right. And that's, I mean, I guess that's what, in the long run, really what we're like looking at. Look, there's a code amongst us that we understand how justice works. We understand that justice, even though it's served sometimes in courtroom, it's not really served. And that goes for people that are convicted of things. Sometimes it's like, this isn't really going to solve anything, but it doesn't mean the system should be shut down, and it should be an opportunity for you as a police officer is what I think is like, hey, you know what you got away with. You know what you got away with amongst the people that you're now criticizing. You know what you got away with. And cowardice is one of the things that I still think, no matter how out of shape you are, how little, how big, how fat, what color you are, what gender you are, what freaking sexual proclivity you are in our world, everybody still looks at cowardice the same way. And it is literally the scarlet A. And if you are, trying to make yourself something that you're not, that only like doth protest too strongly kind of a thing. We all look at that as cops and go, yeah, maybe you should just be quiet and go away, because you had your chance.
Yes.
You froze in the moment, and we understand that, but don't try to blame it on everybody else, and don't try to blame it on this, and don't try to say, hey, we won this first victory, we're going to get the next one when Chief Arredondo has felt innocent as well. Think about those people and what they lost, and
it does nothing for them. It does nothing for them.
And your dignity should pale in comparison to the things that they lost. And you're a school resource officer, that your job is to protect those kids more than anybody else's in the world.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, that being said,
and that other one, it just stop the self promotion. Just stop the finger pointing, and stop. It's everybody else's fault. No, it's you. It's your fault. You did it. Move on. And for the love of God, stay off of television. You've already did it. It's done. You were a coward, both of you. Let it go. Stay off the TV. Don't make it worse for the rest of us, because you didn't have the stones to do what needed to be done. Stop. Everybody's suffering enough. They really are, and they don't need you. They really don't. So anyway. All right.
Now we can all breathe easier, not just with albuterol.
Yeah, not just with albuterol. Like, I can actually lift it a lot off my chest.
Right, there you go. There you go.
I'm going to go have a coughing fit right after this.
Right.
He's just been holding it in. Well, Chris will be in the other room, so it don't matter. It don't matter. You got to get solid core doors. What's the order? Why did you order solid core doors? I can hear you through the doors. Jesus. Hey, by the way, not did you buy another car? Because I know you were going through another car, weren't you?
Oh, I did. I'm back in the. I got back in the game. Bought another car, but I opted this time to take the hand-me-down car from her, and she went to the SUV. So, we're good. We're good.
Oh, so you bought an SUV. So you took the sedan.
Yeah. The fleet's back up. The fleet's where we need to be. We're fully staffed. Okay. Our fleet's fully staffed.
All right, I got
about 6 oil changes stacked up in the garage that I got to do as soon as I get done here.
Oh man, well, good. I'm good. That's glad to hear. Glad to hear. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go to where you get your podcast. Leave a rating, review. If you have any questions, subscribe. Tell all your friends. Any questions? Please email us at 3copstalk@gmail.com. Questions, concerns. Have a suggestion for a guest. maybe a topic you want us to discuss, or you want to be a guest, please email us there. You can get old shows at 3copstalk.com, and you can also leave us an email there. But please tell your friends and tell your family, and let's get the word out, because we're really trying to make the world a better place by talking the truth, and building the bridge between civilians and police. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day.